I recently made a video discussing the dangers of Nei Kung that people can expect if their motivation is to cultivate chi power for egotistical purposes. That is the wrong reason for wanting to cultivate, and in a true system of Nei Kung it will probably lead to some problems. What's important to consider is that there are both positive and negative reasons for wanting to cultivate chi power. Wanting to cultivate chi power because you are an internal martial artist and because it's part of your tradition is perfectly fine. It's simply a further way of expanding your abilities and improving your chances of success in self-defense. That is not egotistical, so it's okay. Doing it because it's a higher level part of the system is not a problem. The problem is with those who want to cultivate chi power in order to show off or gain status, so to speak. It is due to the fact that the practitioner's desire to cultivate power was their primary purpose and motivation for getting into it. Then there is also the desire to gain chi power in order to be a better healer. There are two sides to that. Some people want to be healers in a commercial sense. They want to do it as a business. Therefore, they are doing it from a sense of ego. They want to have the status as energy healer, which is considered special or exotic in the West. They are typically in kind of a hurry and don't spend too many years cultivating their mind or calming their egoism. That scenario applies more to the West because the doctors in Chinese Qigong hospitals who do energy work on patients have a different attitude about it, which is more or less not egotistical. Then there is the traditional old-fashioned way, where a person develops a lot of power just because it's part of the path, and they coincidentally are able to do some healing. But they don't promote themselves and they don't want to do it for money. If they run across someone who needs help, normally a friend or family member, and they feel compassion for that person, then they may want to help that person. That is not an egotistical reason. However, there are other karmic consequences of doing energy healing work that are both good and bad. In fact, the goal of higher levels of Nei Kung is to cultivate chi power. The point is that you don't lure aspiring seekers who want to have power over others. There should be no promises anyway. It's after someone is in the system for some years that it becomes more evident. Like, for example, after we had been practicing together for a few years, Mr. Young would say more power often enough to make me know it was important to him. I guess I wasn't a very good student in that respect. I was like, more power? What power? Who cares about power anyway? I suppose that derives partly from my lack of interest in self-defense. There is a positive aspect to the desire to cultivate power, which is that it serves as a motivator to get the student to meditate more. There is a positive aspect to the desire to cultivate power, which is that it serves as a motivator to get the student to meditate more. It can be kind of like the carrot on the end of the stick that a cart driver uses to get the donkey to pull his cart. Another aspect is practicing the power that is developed. It's fine to try something out simply out of curiosity. Sometimes I would manifest some special ability, and often it was not premeditated. It would just pop out at the right time, where I would discover it by accident. I would tell myself, well, that was interesting, and then drop it. Sometimes I would revisit it later because it's fun to play with and study, like pushing myself with energy. There is one thing I have done a couple of times to others which instantly calmed them down. I feel I should get better at that so I could calm my potential attacker down to the point where they would fall down. But then there's the big giant problem of lack of opportunity on who to practice on.